let's take a look at this. Mike Clay tweets out the positional unit grades. So the unit grades for everybody. When you look at the roster as a whole, Browns 11th ranked offense, 14th ranked defense, 10th best overall roster, 6th best in the AFC. Now, when you look at the Browns across the board there, the ones in blue are the concerns. Wide receivers 0.6 and defensive interior line 0.1. I think Winfrey would make a difference there, but again, no surprise. Those are the two areas that are of concern. Running back, that's 4 out of 4. Cornerback, 3.9 out of 4. And they're on the upper half of the quarterback spectrum there with a 2.6. So you look at that, and we've mentioned wide receiver. And let's take a look at some of the veteran wide receivers that are still out there. You see the name Jarvis Landry. We've heard him kind of associated with the Ravens a little bit, with the Titans. I think it becomes less and less likely that Jarvis Landry is coming back. Your thoughts on that, and who on this list intrigues you that you might want to bring in as that veteran wide receiver that Andrew Berry adds?
You know, when it comes to Jarvis Landry, Dave, I tend to agree with you. I do think that with every passing day that we don't see Jarvis Landry sign with the Cleveland Browns, I think it's more and more likely that he's not going to come back. And I don't think that that's a disservice to Jarvis Landry or a disrespect, an act of disrespect by the Browns. I just think that, he played well in Cleveland, and I just think that the time for both sides to separate, I think it's now. And I think that it makes sense for both sides. And, once the David Bell pick came in, that's when I really thought, David Bell really separates very well, obviously. Didn't necessarily test well when it came to the 40 time, but at the same time had a very good, 10-yard split, had a good 3-cone as well in short shuttle. So, he has the agility that you want, and he showed on tape that he's able to separate very well and be that top-end receiver. Do I think that he's a number one? No. Do I think the Browns need him to be? Also, no. I think that he is exactly what Browns fans thought Rashard Higgins was going to be, which is somebody who can be a reliable possession type of receiver who runs good routes and is actually able to separate at the wide receiver position. So I do think that among all of those, I think David Bell is going to fill that type of a role and can be that in the slot, whether it be in the slot or on the outside. I think that he can fill that role. As for some veterans that I think the Browns could look towards, two names stuck out to me. One is more familiar with Deshaun Watson than the other. And I'll start with him first. I think that Will Fuller is somebody who has dealt with injuries in the past, and I think that he can be brought in on a deal that maybe is more incentive-based. Maybe bring him in, and if he's able to perform like he has in the past with Deshaun Watson, then great. He can earn a little bit more money. But I think that he's somebody who I have a little bit of caution with when it comes to his injury history, as well as bringing him in, depending on the price tag for him. The other one is a bigger name, but fans might not necessarily be as on board with this one, but I'm going to say Julio Jones. I think he's somebody who is a big-bodied receiver, and I think that he's as athletic as he was when he came out in 2011. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that he is somebody who can allow for some of these players like Anthony Schwartz at the back end of the receiver room, even Donovan Peoples-Jones. They don't have to take that immediate step. They can grow with Deshaun Watson. They can form that rapport, and they can build from there. And so, combining all of that with the knowledge that you have from a Julio Jones, I think you mix all of that together, and I think you got a really good recipe for an underrated wide receiver room especially.